Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is... We were calling it Howson's Brew. We're calling it The Brew because Howson's not on it today. And people get a bit like, well, why are you calling it Howson's Brew?
But he's not off it.
He's not off it. He'll
He's
be back
on it,
He's just not on it today. Joining me, though, are two people who are on it, obviously. Joe Smith.
Hello, I'm on it.
Otherwise, it won't work.
Absolutely on it, mate.
With your Pepsi Max Cherry.
I heard you were getting into these.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that you've got like a drink that you're addicted to?
I'm not addicted to. Let's not start using the word
addicted. I see you for like an hour a week, and you've always got a Pepsi Max on you. So that's how.
Well,
you drink more Pepsi
times
Max
during the day you don't see me when I haven't got a Pepsi Max.
You haven't introed Abdul yet, sorry.
I was about to, but I was just busy arguing with you about Pepsi Max Cherry. Abdullah, welcome. You actually brought Pepsi Max Cherry, didn't you, for me? But I've given it to one of the producers because he was whinging that I already had one. So why did I need another one? This is what I have to put up with. Get involved in the comments. Get involved in the chat. Hit that like button and subscribe. And if you're not doing already, check out the merchandise. We've got loads of merch at paddockmerch.com. There's a link in the chat. So do check that out. We've got loads of stuff. We've got Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, some guy called Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm not sure about him.
Loads of
that stuff. We're going to talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference because he's been speaking ahead of the Newcastle game, which I'm going to say is the most anticipated Newcastle game since the 1999 FA Cup final.
Probably.
Yeah. It's
certainly that I can remember in that time.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
How everyone's giddy. And rightly so. There's nothing wrong with that because, Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players ever, will be making his return. And Ole, bless him, has confirmed, Gunnar Solskjaer, the manager, has confirmed that he will play a part, that Cristiano Ronaldo will play a part tomorrow. He's not said whether he's going to start, I don't think. My screen's just frozen, which is handy. But he hasn't said whether he's going to start or not. Abdullah, do you think Ronaldo should start tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, he's just played in that Ireland game in the World Cup qualifiers. Sorry, I was going to say Euros qualifiers. But, I mean, he scored a couple of goals and obviously he's had a suspension for that last game. So he's been able to come for a week, essentially, and train. He's been training since Tuesday. And by the sounds of it, with the way he was speaking to Wes Brown, he seems like eager to get involved, speaking about getting in the 11 and stuff like that, chatting to Ollie. So I think he's just one of them players, especially if you got him hungry and, he's raring to go. He knows himself, he's fit and he's ready. You've just got to start him in it. And especially against the side that will make it difficult. They will obviously play in their own half and try to keep things tight at the back. I think Ronaldo's just got to start in that game.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
What I reckon, Jay.
Go on.
And sorry, while Abdul was talking, I was listening to you, but I was also doing some counting. Jay's laptop here, right?
Yeah.
It's frozen a little bit. I was thinking, I wonder why it's frozen. Can I hazard a guess as to why it's frozen?
Please
I've
do.
Just
I'm a Luddite.
Across his apps at the bottom, he's got 27 apps open and 35 tabs on Google Chrome. What are you playing at? 35 tabs open. That is awful. That is insane.
That is irritating.
We'll come back to the football.
I'm so
You've just gone on your laptop and gone, let me open everything.
You got to shut everything down.
Let me open all the apps. You've got Photoshop,
fresh.
Premiere, you've got Apple Music on,
I need this Wikipedia page on Zinedine Zidane, apparently.
Yeah, you've got 35 tabs open.
I need 4 tabs on YouTube.
It's a disaster to look at.
Right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start getting rid of some of these tabs. Whilst you answer the question that I asked Abdullah about whether Cristiano Ronaldo should play a full night or start, should we say, against Newcastle?
I don't see why he wouldn't start. I think he's our best striker. I think he's probably our best player.
Yeah.
He's been playing this season. Well, he had a full pre-season, should we say. He, not full. Well, he played in the Euros.
Yeah.
He went back to Juventus.
Yeah.
He played for Portugal again, played 96 minutes, whatever it was the other day.
Yeah.
Then he's come in and he's had a full week at United. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
He's not someone that's back from injury. He's not someone that hasn't played yet this season. I don't see why you wouldn't start him. You can always bring him off.
Yeah.
We don't have to play him the full 90 minutes. I think for the energy, for that extra boost that it'll give the team to have him starting, and there's going to be that anyway, but just to have him on the pitch from the start will be insane. I don't know why you wouldn't start him. I think, like I said, I think he's our best striker. I think we've played Greenwood on the right. We've played him up front. I think he can play on the right. Martial's not really done it this season. Cavani's not really been fit enough yet. He played 30 minutes or so. I don't know why you wouldn't start him personally.
I'll give you the exact quote that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said. He said, he, talking about Ronaldo.
There you go. That's what I was on about before.
He's been having a good pre-season with Juventus. He's played for the national team. He's had a good week with us here, and he'll definitely be on the pitch against Newcastle at some point. That's for sure. He's also gone on to say everyone is happy to have him back. The mood has been very good. We are looking forward to Saturday, of course. You mentioned like some of the other players that we've got, and obviously one of the some people try and look for a negative here, don't they, when it comes to Ronaldo? And it's like one of the negatives that I've heard sort of mentioned is this is going to get in the way or stifle some of the younger players. But we were talking about this today, and it's got. How do you look at it? Because to me, it's like a positive that someone like Mason Greenwood gets to see Cristiano Ronaldo train with him and play with him as well. I look at that as positive, especially because of the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo isn't going to be here for the next 10 years. This isn't someone saying, well, Mason, you're out of the team now. No. This is someone saying, you know, here's one of the greatest of all time at the twilight of his career. If you can play alongside.
If you brought in maybe a 26-year-old, 27-year-old in front of him, maybe you could say he's getting in the way. Like, he's probably got 5-6 years left. By the, you know, let's say Bruno was a striker and we just brought him in. Then you could maybe go, you know, he's going to be playing for another 5 years. At that point, Mason's going to be 24. He will want to be first team by then. That's a problem. But a 34-year-old or 33-year-old Cavani last season for 2 years, and then a 36-year-old Ronaldo for probably another 2 years now, that's not a problem. Mason Greenwood will be 21 when Ronaldo's contract runs out, maybe 22 if he stays for that extra year. That's the age where most strikers still aren't first choice for their team, let alone, he's past it, he's going to, you know, there's no issue there at all for me. And we already know with Mason, he can play in multiple positions. He can play on the right-hand side. He can play down the middle. So it's not as though he's never going to get a game anywhere. And if he keeps scoring the way he is now, he'll play ahead of anyone. I don't think that Greenwood's going to get dropped if he's on basically a goal a game like he has been for the last dozen games. So I don't worry about that at all. And like you said, he's someone great to learn from.
You love Mason Greenwood, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of him. I think I was watching, you might have seen a clip going around on Twitter of like all his goals at United, and just like some of the goals, absolutely ridiculous finishes. And there was a few people saying like, he needs to be scoring the tap-ins, and I get that. But I think we've seen that if you look at his, like, maybe within his last 10 goals, 2 of them were the Southampton one this season and the Brighton one from last season. The Brighton one where the ball bounces, I think, from Pogba's shot/cross, and then he heads it in. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, it was from Pogba. But that was a bit of a tap-in sort of area where you want your striker to get that goal. There was also the Southampton goal this season. And I think he's starting to show that goal instinct a bit more. But honestly, his development so far, the goals are the most common finishes, that one on like the edge of the box. We've seen, I remember, against Everton. And look at those games, a lot of them were high pressure. United needed to get back in the game. You look at Wolves, the last game away from home, he needed that goal. So we needed that goal, and he manages to run down the wing and almost create, do everything by himself. So honestly, happy with his development. And I think Ronaldo coming in, it could be the perfect scenario, because if you would have waited this season, things hadn't gone so well, then maybe we'd have to bite the bullet with like buying Haaland, and then you're like, is Mason really going to be that 9? But then this gives him enough time to come into the side and find his feet, whether it's at right wing. And I was actually watching an interview that I'd done with United last night. I was just randomly on the app, and I'd seen that when they asked him what position would you prefer to play, he said that he can play. He doesn't mind playing across the line. Honestly, learning off Ronaldo, perfect for me. Is the perfect situation. It could have been a lot worse. If you would have maybe bought in a Haaland, then you're losing potentially one of the greatest future talents. So Academy's produced him, so you got to be happy with that.
100%. In the super chat, IQ985 says, did you guys hear the Khabib interview? Apparently he told him planned on moving to United a month ago. Not a guy that seems like a liar. City move must have been a ploy.
Well, I've heard that part of it.
Yeah. But
then there's part of you that thinks, well, there are also rumours that he'd been telling his Juventus teammates he was going to City. So are they liars as well? I just think it seems to me like both teams were maybe after him. He maybe preferred United, obviously, because he had the choice of both at one point.
I saw Gillan Ballagate was trying to make it out like City didn't want him, or City wanted to sell someone to before they bought him, which didn't make any sense to me, because City went for Kane.
For 150 mil?
Yeah, and it was like...
But Gillan Ballagate, Pep Guardiola's best mate.
Oh, seriously. I've interviewed Gillan Ballagate on Pep Guardiola for years ago.
They've been embarrassed in the situation, and they're trying to play it off. I believe with like the City thing and United, you know, what Khabib said or whatever a month ago, maybe at the start of the summer, you know, in and around the Euros, he was expecting interest from United. I actually think United didn't expect him to be at that price range. What it seemed like towards the end of the window was Juve just wanted to get rid of, rid of the wages. And it sort of just aligned perfectly for United. Like, all right, go on and get him. We've seen, there's always this thing mentioned about shirt sales and, United are going to make money from shirt sales. But obviously it's only a certain percentage. But then looking at the news this morning, you might have seen it like, you know, United have already made that back. And they're paying like, 2.5 million a year for him. So, you know, what he's giving you financially and on the pitch, it's just a perfect situation for United. I think once United were in the conversation, it was always going to go one way.
100%. I mean, I get the sort of commercial side of it, and even though I don't really look at it too much, it is part and parcel of the game. But the one thing you can't sort of quantify, and it sounds a bit sort of daft to say, but it's that feeling that you've got now that Ronaldo's back. Do you know what I mean? This isn't like Sancho, I was buzzing for, and I'm glad that he's here. And, you know, Varane even was like, wow, we've got Rafael Varane. But then with Ronaldo, it's just something different.
It's the romantic side.
There is that romantic feeling. No, do you know what I mean? No, it's like
that feeling you're feeling, Jez. That's arousal. That's what that is.
Maybe you're right. But I just feel like
sexual tension.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, it was so unexpected. It looked like it was going one way. It has given us all a bit of a glow. I'm just going to get in super chat. Addy says, what happened to Martial? He clearly has a lot of potential. I've not given up on him. He still seems to have a sort of place in the squad. Ollie's obviously making the right noises. He started against Southampton, was it? And came on against Wolves. So he has featured. It's not like he's the forgotten man. We'll get in some more quotes as well from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's obviously buzzing because he's got, you know, Ronaldo back. He's got Varane. Talking about Ronaldo, he just said everyone is happy to have him back. The mood has been very good. We are looking forward to Saturday, of course. And also talking about Ronaldo and Varane, he says there's no place to hide with winners like them. You can't go in 95% focused. How much of a difference do you think that makes, Joe? Because the one thing this team's been lacking is trophy winners. We haven't almost got any. Pogba's the main one. Matic's obviously won the title with Chelsea. But you look at some of our better players, like Mason. Obviously, he's young, has never won anything. Harry Maguire, Bruno, Rashford obviously won, you know, a couple of cups. But in terms of like, you know, Champions League,
serial winners, of big, the biggest
we haven't really got that many. No, and even Pogba, you know, hasn't won much for. He hasn't won anything for 4 years.
Look at everything: Fred, McTominay, Bruno, Rashford, Greenwood. Almost like Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Maguire, most of them, Lindelof, most of last season's starting 11 had won very little or a couple of cups here and
Bruno,
there.
I don't think he's won anything, has he? Neither's Maguire.
No,
it's ridiculous considering like Bruno's just turned 27. I think Maguire's a similar age, and the quality they've got. You think,
I think the squad. I think the way the squad's been built is a perfect scenario for Man United. If you look at this team, you know the way Ollie's done it is brilliant. I mean, Maguire, Bruno, you know, in their sort of prime years coming into that. Bruno's just turned, was it 26?
27, just
27.
Turned.
So 27. So
he's 27 until he's 28.
So he's going into that prime like sort of period, and he's still maybe not even seen the best that we could see from Bruno. Could be dropping a bit deeper in positions and creating a lot more, you know, having more of that in-game intelligence, controlling games and whatnot. He could still develop that. So then you bring in winners, and I mentioned this on the last couple of shows, you know, when the Ronaldo stuff popped up, is like the standards are going to go up, and he mentioned, you know, he mentions that in the interview with Wes Brown, like, you know, you've got, Solskjaer mentions that, and the way that Ronaldo spoke to Wes Brown about, I'm not here for a vacation, I'm here to win, you know, this bringing United back to where they should be, and I feel like if you got people like Bruno who's shown the passion, you know, in the final, and so emotional after that Europa League final. He's been chasing a trophy, been trying to reach the top. It's just a perfect scenario. You got younger players who have come through, you know, McTominay's come through at United, Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, players who obviously got that attachment to United on top of that. And I think it creates a perfect scenario in the long term where the way the squad's been built, that once the likes of Ronaldo and it filters down to then the Brunos and Maguires move on, they're going to be players that are going to come into their own and then be the leaders of the next generation. I feel like we're quite lucky at Man United the rest of the league don't really have that. I feel like Liverpool are in a bit of a weird space. I mean, City have got Foden, Liverpool have got Elliott, but across the pitch, I think Man United, Chelsea are the two teams that I'd say where
full of under 25s.
Yeah, exactly. Full of those under 25s that can carry into that. If you look at Chelsea, you've got Chalobah, Mason Mount, and so on. United, like I said, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, McTominay. There are players to carry on to that next
even
level.
Wan-Bissaka and players like and Dean Henderson as well to come through. Yeah, we've got it is a brilliantly sort of balanced squad now. I think, obviously slightly old in the striking positions, but I think it's like you said. This team now, other than Ronaldo, is better in 3 years than it is now. Maguire will be 31 right in his prime. Bruno 30. Pogba 30, but like the rest of it, you got a mid-20s Rashford, you've got a 22-year-old Greenwood, you've got a 29-year-old Luke Shaw, you've got a 26-year-old Wan-Bissaka. Like, even if we don't add anything else, this team, a lot of it gets better over the next 2 or 3 years.
There's a base to build off, innit? Like, we're definitely going to be in the market by the sounds of it for like a Declan Rice or someone of that ilk, and around the perfect age group. So, if we're targeting a 22, 23-year-old defensive midfielder, then that's another player that you can build the base off. And I feel what will happen eventually is that you can buy 2-3 players a season, and you won't have to overhaul the full team. You won't have to change everything and scrap everything, which we've had to do quite often over the last 10 years. And it makes transfer windows so complicated because in the past when we bought the Di Marias, Falcaos, and whatever, there's not really been a base to build on from. You lost Rio Ferdinand, you lost Vidic. But then it's the same thing across the pitch. All the players move on. Phil Jones, injury problems, falls off. I think United are in the best space they've ever been, since Sir Alex has left. And I'd argue as well, actually, compared to the last 2-3 years with Sir Alex, where there were hints of, us falling off in terms of building that squad properly.
Yeah.
This, for me, is even better than that. In the 2 seasons where Sir Alex's last 2 title wins, this situation United are in is much better than that. So I think we've got to really compete all the way to the end.
Yeah,
I think definitely. I'd love Ole to smash it, and I think this is his year to prove it.
No, I agree with all that, and I think in terms of the squad, yes, you've got, as you mentioned, Joe, you've got some like Cavani and Ronaldo who obviously aren't going to be around for long, but it's more than made up for the fact that Mason Greenwood in his early 20s could just be ridiculous. He really could. Marcus Rashford, I think, has got another level to go. Jadon Sancho, people forget how young he is. There's a lot of players out there who could kick on.
I forgot Sancho.
It's what I mean. It's like weird because Sancho was the 21. Transfer we were all after. We were all sort of gunning for. And he's almost, I wouldn't say become the forgotten man, 'cause that's ridiculous, but the focus has been so much on Cristiano Ronaldo. Even before that, there was a slight sort of thing about Varane as well. It's like, well, Varane, because we didn't expect Varane, we expected Sancho. That took a lot of the limelight away from Sancho. Then you've got the Ronaldo situation.
It's positive, isn't it?
I was going to say that before.
If the Wolves game happens without this, us, bringing Ronaldo in, or Varane had come in with him and had such a great performance. That Wolves game, a lot of people slating Jadon Sancho. Obviously, didn't have a great game.
Ridiculous.
It would carry on, with people just slating him every week. So it's taken the limelight off him, like you said, and I think it's a good scenario for United.
I want to ask you a little bit about the Brazilian situation because Solskjaer spoke about the Brazilian player. Yes, thank you.
Thanks for noticing.
It's all right, I always do. And he said about the player ban, lose-lose situation, national teams, players, clubs, it's been a farce, really. He says the players want to play, but we all know what kind of situation we found ourselves in the last year and a half with the pandemic. To limit the spread of the virus, we've worked really hard to try and find a way, private jets when travelling to matches. There are ways of getting them, the international players, in and out, but all of the decisions have gone against the players. Want to play for national teams and clubs, but not allowed. Disappointed with the whole thing. Common sense might not be common anymore. So if you don't know what's gone on there, Joe, elucidate everyone. What's the sort of gist of it?
Well, the gist of it is that Premier League teams stopped players from a lot of nations going away, Brazil being one of them.
Yeah.
And then the Brazilian FA have said, you're not allowed to stop your players coming to play for us. We're going to ban them from playing for you. Essentially, I think that's about the gist of it, which doesn't really make sense on any level. Because again, the players are basically getting punished twice there. Which makes no sense. I don't really get it. I don't understand why they would do that. I don't think it's fair on the players. I don't think it's fair on the clubs. It doesn't really seem. How does that help Brazilian national team? Well, you can't play for us, but you can't play for them either.
It's just creating an issue between
childish logic.
Yeah, between club and country, especially when Richarlison can play because he went to the Olympics and Brazil.
Nice
Brazil
I think
sort of
you've got to look at
it
from their perspective. Like I agree with you guys. It seems like an absolute farce, and Ollie said that actually same thing earlier watching it. But these, you're going into World Cup qualifiers. I think Brazil, even without the players that didn't join up, they'll be fine qualifying for the World Cup. But I feel like, the passion for football in South America, and we've seen how mad it gets in games and stuff like that, is just them, even from the players' side. Like, we've seen the Cavani post, if you remember. The players want to be there and want to be involved. So, I don't know. I think, it's a bit of a weird one because they might be doing this as a move to say, we're going to need them in the next international break.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's a mad one, isn't it? Like, Fred's going to miss the next 2 games because he's being banned from his national team to play for United.
Well, how many would he have missed if he had to isolate when he came back? More than 2? About 2, wouldn't it?
It's very similar. Janine's been in the chat saying nice little nod to the old mural there on
the old mural on the wall there.
You can see there a little poster there. What we used to have in the background. Now it's been changed down here in the studio.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Because he talked about McTominay as well, didn't he? Have you got that anywhere?
Yes, he said they're all training. Dean Henderson has not got the after effects and sinus anymore, so that's very positive.
Good.
Tellez is not 100% yet, still a few weeks, and Scott has recovered very quickly from the operation.
Yeah.
Scott McTominay is almost looking like a vital cog in this wheel at the minute, isn't it? Because we were doing our match preview and it was like, you need someone who's going to play in that 6. Yeah. Is it going to be Donny? Fred can't if he's banned. Matic is obviously getting on a bit, so McTominay's like the most obvious one.
He seems to be.
And now it's and now obviously with his injury, he's coming back from his injury. I think he had an operation. We don't know how fit he is. I mean, that's a little bit vague, to be honest with you, from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If I had to guess, I'm guessing, and it is just a guess, that he's not going to be quite there yet for tomorrow. But you wouldn't have thought that, would you, a month ago, that Scott McTominay would be so integral to Manchester United? No disrespect to him, it wasn't probably top of most people's list of, we need McTominay fit.
I think he's sort of the least volatile of any of our defensive options. So Fred can just have halves like he did against Wolves, where it's like, are you even a footballer?
Yeah.
Matic can have those halves as well, where he doesn't do the same. He doesn't give the ball away as much as Fred, or he doesn't seem to. I haven't got the stats in front of me, but he just gets dribbled past, or he's out of position, or he's sort of reaching out to try and tackle someone, and they're just going past him, and he sort of gets all turned and caught up with himself. Whereas McTominay, he's probably not as good. His position is probably not as good as Matic's. His tenacity and his energy isn't quite as good maybe as Fred's, and his agility and his quick sort of changing directions and stuff that Fred's got. He doesn't really have that, but he's probably somewhere between both.
Yeah,
and I think he's better going forward certainly than Fred. He doesn't hold the ball as well as Matic, but he holds it better than Fred. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I agree.
Exactly between both on almost everything. I think he's probably the best in sort of 25 yards and in to the opposition goal. He's got a decent finish on him. What was it, 7 goals he got last season?
Yeah.
He's got that. And if he can improve that side of his game and improve I think defensive position needs to be one that he can improve. He sometimes gets dragged toward the ball. But it's got to the point where a lot of people don't trust Fred at all anymore. That Wolves game was almost like, it's too early into the season for you to be doing this already. Matic, has proven basically over the last 18 months since we came back, initial sort of 8 games it was it after we came back from COVID last season where he was brilliant with Bruno. Since then, he's just seems to have been on the decline. I think the final nail in the coffin was the Besiktas game away, wasn't it, where he's chasing after Demba Ba from the halfway line, and
it was shocking for a multitude of reasons, but that seemed
out to be
as
like,
a particularly
Matic
bad
isn't
point.
up to it anymore.
No.
McTominay is the only one of the 3 that still seems to be improving as a player. Like I said, he kind of ticks not all the boxes, but sort of more of the boxes than either of them. And I think if he can improve on certain things, he's going to be the one that will start the most games for United this season. I think he could turn into a really important player.
100%. I agree with that, especially the fact that I feel with McTominay, obviously because of his age and the way he's developed, he has got another level to go.
Yeah.
Fred hasn't, and Matic is probably, he's in his decline. Slayer Rocks 2 says Ronaldo hype can help Sancho settle in without him suffering from over-the-top expectations. I agree with that.
Because Ronaldo was more than happy to take all the pressure on his shoulders, isn't he? He's right up for that. So Sancho can have the odd off game, get brought into the team without being like, I'm going to say this. our main signing, Sancho, he's been shit. Less people will be like, look at Ziyech at Chelsea last season.
Yeah,
he had a couple of good games here and there, but generally speaking, couldn't crack into the team. Didn't look, but I think they announced that signing quite early, didn't they? For 30 million. And if he was their main signing last summer, he'd have got so much stick. And hopefully, obviously, Sancho will be better than that. But it just distracts you. You buy the players, you get Werner for 50, you get whoever it is. You bring Ronaldo in, all of a sudden Varane can have the off game, Sancho can have the off game because Ronaldo will take all of that on his shoulders and loves all that. So it's him who has to perform. But I think that helps everyone else.
Derek Best says, do you think we'll ever see Ronaldo, Sancho, Rashford, Mason, and Cavani on the pitch at the same time this season, Abdullah?
I think it's gonna be like a last 10-minute situation where we're dying for a goal and
If they're all on, there's problems.
I mean, that's five.
That's problems for us.
That's five attackers. That. I mean, that would be like.
There's goals.
Yeah, maybe that's like you need a last-minute winner or whatever. Yeah, last-minute goal.
I mean, to be
fair,
throw
on everyone who can attack.
Cavani and Ronaldo's movement is just so unbelievable, isn't it? Like. How do you even deal with that? Like centre backs, like it'll be a struggle. And then, if you go into a 4-4-2 situation, let's say not all 5 of them are on the pitch, like that could very much happen, and it could work out for United. You got Marcus Rashford, Sancho say wide, and then Cavani and Ronaldo to aim for in the middle, or Greenwood with one of them.
That's mad, isn't it? When you're saying all these names, how insane is it? How Stacked, FIFA career mode is our front line now?
It's unbelievable.
It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid.
If you think about how well we did last season. We didn't really lack in terms of getting goals. Like a lot of our players had joy. If you look at the numbers that they got, Rashford's, Greenwood, Bruno, they all got goals. Even Eddie, Martial, not so in the league, but they still managed to get goals. And then you add that this season. I mean, like even Marcus Rashford, he played through the middle quite a bit last season. This season, you won't expect him to, and he could just then do the playmaking, the trickery, and stuff out on the left as well as chip in. But I feel like this just eases United's. Situation.
I actually can't believe the team we've got.
Probably when you go back the most stacked attack in Europe, you'd say.
PSG.
Yeah,
tough.
PSG.
Yeah, they're the sort of outlier.
You know what's mad about PSG?
Really not far off that.
Reading a start, like I just checked it the other day as well. Neymar hasn't played over 20 league games in a season.
Yeah, he's played. He's been at the club for 150 games, and he's played in 74, something like under half of the games he's been at the club for, he's played in. So he's not playing 45 games this season.
There's a weird situation as well where I seen like this some guy just put a clip on at the start. I thought it was nonsense with PSG. We're going off topic a little bit, but
there is no real topic here.
The best attack in Europe, we've got to defend it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we might have the best defence in Europe.
Because I was seeing there was he was showing a clip of Messi at Barca where players are making runs off him, clearing up the path for him to shoot on the edge of the box. And then there was the same exact situation at PSG, and Mbappe didn't lay him off. He just like cut in and then took that shot. And there could be a lot of them. I know Mbappe does a lot of off the ball stuff, especially for France. We see a lot of that, but a lot of them do get attracted to the ball, like your Neymars, your Messis. I think with United, if you look at it as a balance of attack, Sancho's more like he loves having someone to aim for and a target, and you see that with the numbers and the way the style he plays. Marcus Rashford likes to see a lot of the ball, but can also do the other bit. And then Ronaldo's just right now at this stage of his career is just getting goals. Same with Eddie as well. So I feel like United as a balance in the front line, for me, are the best in terms of depth in Europe right now as an attack.
That's mad, isn't it? When you go back a few years, and there are points where Ashley Young, I don't want to knock anyone, but Ashley Young was captain, playing every week at right back.
Yeah,
played that striker one time. Yeah, played like last game of that season against Bournemouth.
Playing there. He was playing at left back.
Yeah, he's left back. He went to the World Cup as a left back, didn't he?
Like a 34-year-old Valencia playing at right back. Yeah. Smalling. You had Bailly coming in and out of fitness all the time. Lindelof, I don't think as good as he has become. Remember when Lindelof was kind of a bit, people used to take the piss out of him.
Also the style, like you had a time when Fellaini was an essential part of our team, and I like Marouane Fellaini, but it was like hoofing it up to Fellaini in the last minute trying to get a goal.
Pereira playing all the time.
Yeah,
Lingard,
it wasn't great.
Fellaini.
So that in the Europa League run, we had was it like Marcus Rashford through the middle after Zlatan got injured and Fellaini off him, and he was very much like Everton. I've said this in the past, that is an effective way of playing, and we've beaten top sides doing it. I remember that run.
We had a great record against the top teams, didn't we?
Yeah.
Spurs, City, if you remember that Van Gaal period, beat Spurs 3-0, then City 4-2 at Old Trafford.
The one at Old Trafford, that 4-2 against City.
That was an unbelievable game, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it? Seriously. What was going on there? We were all over him. Fellaini had a game of his life. He was like... Yeah, I saw it. He couldn't cope with him. And I was watching. I was like, what is going on here?
It was like,
brilliant.
at that time, you could unlock teams doing that, but it was our plan every week. And I felt, this is now an absolute other level now.
It's
like,
ridiculous.
we spoke about our attackers. We didn't speak about Bruno. And you consider him to be one of
He's our best player.
Yeah.
He has been our best player since he arrived. It's absolutely insane.
Just
I honestly can't believe what the madness of our
every quote from Ollie's just talking about another amazing player. On the Jadon Sancho front, Solskjaer said, Jadon's come back with a minor knock, but is determined to play to be fit. He's available. That's a positive. Cristiano's trained all week. We didn't get anyone injured in internationals. Not a lot of recoveries, but they will be available, I think.
That sounds like Sancho might not start to me.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit like
he did have a knock. I think Donny's gonna get into the team alongside Matic, because we've seen that in like dead rubber games, didn't we? Like Leicester when we played a bunch of the kids.
And wasn't it Donny and Matic in the behind closed doors game, Jay?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
and Everton in the pre-season, wasn't it? So what I get from those two in midfield is the ball retention is some of the best I've seen from this team in a while. Whenever it's not been a lot, but when we have watched them, we lost 2-1 to Leicester when Greenwood scored that goal. But what I noticed in that game is how easy it was to just bypass Leicester's midfield compared to how it would be with Fred and McTominay. And I feel like we could be lucky with the situation on the weekend where Newcastle's the perfect fixture to do it, and then Fred's out. Then it could give a bit more hope to like. The way Ollie spoke about Donny as well was good today. So he said he can play as a 6, he can play as a 8, he can play as a 10. I'd be fine there. So I think Donny and Matic will see, and I think it's going to be Pogba on the left wing because Sancho, if he's got a knock, he's come back early, train, and just get him back into the pace of the league, and then maybe start him in the Champions League. Like it'll be a bit of an open game, young boys.
I agree with that. I think we'll probably see Pogba. I think Pogba's been at his best on the left this season as well.
Pogba
on the left,
100%, way more productive.
Samuel Elliott in the super chat says Bruno and Ronaldo have already been playing together. They don't really need time to adjust to each other. It's going to be goals for sure. Anthony Dunn says I'd play Fred in the middle. I'd play Fred the Red, in the middle before Fred. Harsh. Jason McMillan says Cristiano is the GOAT, best we've ever seen. Merrily, 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 merrily. Here, Old Trafford scream Ronaldo. Also, someone else was talking about. Someone's not happy with your Juve shirt, by the way. But a couple of comments.
Yeah, what are you trying to do? Get Paul Pogba to leave?
I was trying to get away with
AZ says why the Juve shirt, and there was a couple before that I ignored, but you know.
The shirt itself is nice. I hate their new badge.
Oh, this one, yeah.
It's weird. It's just.
When I went to Turin, I went into like the club store, and it was like a fashion shop. It wasn't even like a proper.
Really?
It looks sick. I'm not gonna lie. Like they had like.
I used to love their
leather jackets and weird stuff like that.
Did they? Was it like white and black?
Weirdly enough, they had like the medical center where the players doing the medical at the ground. Pretty sick, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like it's called like you see like J Medical.
Derek Best says Jay's lady friend going to be pissed that he's slagging off Fellaini. I didn't slag off Fellaini actually. I just slagged off his style.
We just better now. He's left. And we are better now. He's left.
Is he still in China?
I think so. I think he is. Yeah. I mean, there's loads of things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spoke about. It's like he's just been talking forever, and most of them are about Cristiano Ronaldo, as you would expect. He's just been talking about him loads. Said about the shirt situation, he said Cristiano speaks with Edinson. To pass up his shirt shows the respect he's got for Cristiano and respect the other way. Two top pros, players and human beings. I mean, it was weird, wasn't it? Because a couple of weeks ago, people were actually having a dig at Cavani. Like, I couldn't believe what some of those things I was saying, like, oh, you can't believe he's not giving up his shirt and all this. And I was like, well, I'm going to.
For Sancho?
Yeah. No, for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. When it was like it looked like Cavani was going to stand in the way of Ronaldo.
Oh right, because I thought before that.
Last week
thought Sancho would get the 7, didn't they?
And when Ronaldo came in, right, and it looked for a brief period, so not a few weeks ago, last week, that Cavani was going to keep the 7 shirt. People losing their minds, like, oh, I can't believe he's going to do that, which is just a bit ridiculous, especially when you consider Cavani's been like pretty decent since he's arrived, shall we say? But he's done that, so Ronaldo gets his 7 shirt, and it seems to be quite a harmonious dressing room. It seems like people are getting on. Paul Pogba seems happy. Famous last words, but he does. Anthony Martial seems relatively happy. He's not performing at levels we want. Players that have perhaps in the past not been too great. Cristiano Ronaldo's come in, doesn't seem to upset anyone. Everyone's getting on. People seem buzzing. There just seems like a real positive atmosphere around Old Trafford. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can all change with a defeat against Newcastle, but at the minute there doesn't seem to be many dramas.
To me, I think, I don't know how to phrase it really, but I would say that certainly since Ferguson left, but I would say based on the evidence we have from his time at Manchester United, Ole has to be regarded as one of the best man managers in the world, I think, in terms of keeping a team happy. Like, you look at the absolute fucking bonfire he arrived at, where Rashford was being told he wasn't good enough, Fred was being told he wasn't good enough, Lindelof, Martial, De Gea, Pogba, the amount of players in that team that had fallen out with Jose. Even it looked like Matic had fallen out with him, who was meant to be like his mate who he brought with him from Chelsea. Lukaku the same. Jose had just fallen out with pretty much everyone in that team, and Luke Shaw, another one, just slagging him off publicly, saying he ain't got a brain, and what was it when he was doing his punditry stuff? Mourinho talking about how Rashford's been in the league for 5 years and he's still never really turned into a goal scorer. Well, all of a sudden he gets, 22 goals or 21 goals the season before, and 21 and 20 again last season. Like, he happens to be a goal scorer now. He's got someone that's not taking the piss out of him. Ollie's got this team happy, or at least publicly satisfied and happy, and honestly it's such a brilliant job that he's done with that. You can never go at his tactics, his subs, or whatever you want to talk about with Ole, and I think there are some valid criticisms, but his man management in terms of creating a harmonious dressing room, creating, if nothing else, the facade that everyone behind the scenes is well up for this, gets on with each other, is happy, there's a sort of a family atmosphere there, is absolutely second to none so far. It's been amazing.
I feel like outside the Donny situation as well, in terms of playing time, and I think Donny just makes it so difficult with us not having that proper DM to even just throw him in there sometimes in a pivot. But outside of that, he almost gives everyone that fair amount of opportunity, and he won't take you out of the team. Now, I don't expect Greenwood to come out next game.
No,
he won't take you out of the team. Like, you remember when we bought Sanchez, and then
Martial
he was playing well, wasn't he?
He was brilliant.
He was playing well.
Along. Lingard was in good form.
Yeah,
the rotation was great in the squad, with him and Rashford. Then you come in and you're like, we need the right winger at the time. No, Martial out the team. Let me put Sanchez left wing, and we still got Mata playing right wing. That situation hasn't happened under Ali. He's very if you've performed, you're doing well. That's a benefit to the team, and he doesn't have the personal agendas that he has with players. And I feel like just with I know football's changed a lot as well. And I used to like the old Jose at Inter Milan and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Oli just gets that side of the game so well compared to some of the other managers.
Yeah, especially the older manager. Or not. I know Jose's not an old manager, but the older guard of you were managing people in the tournament of the millennium, where people were firm, fucking whatever. There's no social media. There was no brand outside of football, except for 4 or 5 players in the world had a brand. Now everyone's got a brand. You can't be seen to be being taken the piss out of every week because he's who's this fucking idiot? Yeah. It's not the same as it.
People take the piss out of Oli always saying he's trying to be like Sir Alex. Well, he is, and it sort of is working. I remember seeing Patrice Evra talk about this, and he said, he'd kicked off with him after the game, and he was pissed off at him or whatever, and they'd had a thing. But then the next day he walked through the corridor and he's having a laugh and he's smiling at everyone. And I feel like with Jose, it was very much when you've heard things, and we might have spoken to people in around the club. When I've heard things this guy holds grudges,
it changed. It was with Jose. You could see how much it changed just from going to the press conferences, because he used to be a laugh. He used to get there and he was all right. He was, there was no dramas. He was pretty relaxed. And even after that first season, there was times when he wasn't. And there was times when he was a little bit crazy. Remember the whole game where we lost, but he wouldn't count their goal.
Yeah.
So he said it was a draw.
He said it was a draw. Yeah.
So we were on this unbeaten run of 15 games, and he said the unbeaten run hadn't ended. Because that game didn't count.
We lose again?
It's funny with his fans is if Oli said that, it's loser talk, and Jose, but then when he says it's okay.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't okay. It was crazy, and everyone thought that at the time. But I remember being at a press conference where I think it was James Ducker said to him, the last game against Hull, where some people say you lost, you say otherwise. And I thought, this isn't like subjective.
Proper Donald
it's
Trump
like
stuff,
he
that,
lost. Yeah, like we lost that game. You can't be like, some people argue, but I understand why James Ducker said it, because it was like he was trying to keep Josie on side to get a comment out of him. Yeah. But yeah, there was that element to it. He just lost the plot. And for me, and I know we've spoken about it a lot on this channel, but the Sevilla game, you was there outside the ground saying state of that. Halson looked like he was about to burst into tears in Hotel Football doing his review. It was just dreadful because you had a manager coming out and saying, not only did we get knocked out of Europe by a bang average Sevilla side, but he went, well, we weren't going to win it anyway. Yeah. And you think that
didn't want to win it anyway.
Yeah, he's just ludicrous. Yeah. Like, you've completely lost the plot.
He was living in a hotel, wasn't he? The whole time. It just wasn't, on a personal level for him, it wasn't an ideal situation. So we didn't get the best Jose.
No, we didn't. I thought we had.
In fairness to that hotel, it's basically a penthouse apartment that gets cleaned for you every day. It's hardly like he's in like a travel lodge somewhere.
It was that his family not really living with him.
The point with the hotel was always about.
I know. I'm not.
Was the family thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the family thing. And for me, I think him going to Spurs wasn't a good. Like, we're talking about Jose now, obviously outside of it, but him going to Spurs wasn't the good move. What is a good move for him right now is like the Roma thing, getting out of the Premier League and maybe reinventing himself.
Was it the first game where he had like 2 red cards and he got sent off himself?
Yeah. That's it.
Just punching the microphone.
Get him in Joe's they started the season so well, Roma. So well. Really good.
It does seem to be like a good place to go and rekindle your career on Serie A. Like a lot of United.
I'd like him to go win the league.
United. Like, was it Ashley Young went there? Yeah. Sanchez, Lukaku,
Darmian
went back. Smalling. Smalling did well at Roma, didn't he? He was like
enjoys the city and everything. Yeah,
it does seem to be.
I think it's a good like space for him to be there. And as much as he pissed me off at United and how things had gone, I would love for Jose to actually win at Roma and maybe reinvent himself, and because it's enjoyable seeing him in the football scene.
A happy peak Jose Mourinho is one of the iconic figures of the Premier League. Yeah. And any time we can have that back, I'm well up for it. I don't want him happy because he's winning leagues, but happy because he's performing well. He's he's a great character.
I think you remember like the game that I always think about was the Chelsea game against the Scousers, where the Scousers win and they basically win the league. Yeah. And Chelsea played like a reserve team. It was like Mark Schwarzer in goal and Demba Ba up front, who never played for him because they had a Champions League game. And I was watching the Independent or something did like a deep dive review of like the game and what went on. And he was basically saying to his team, I want 2 of you to get booked by half time for time wasting. If you haven't, you're getting subbed. And he was like this sort of thing. And like he said, with the first goal kick we get, I want the striker to come and take the goal kick to run back from, you know what I mean? Just like to waste time. And like was laughing and, he managed to get a result. But there was that part of Jose during that period when he was, I know that was probably like a bit later, but defensively especially, he was like a genius. If you look at Inter when they went up against that Barcelona team, who won the 2009 treble and the 2011 treble, the one in the middle that stopped them was Jose, because defensively he just cracked it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And he took control of the game in a weird way.
Yeah, that home and away leg maybe the best ever.
Yeah, as a tactician, he was just
it's that period as well in football. It was suited to him. We've seen him. I missed it when I was younger, but I've gone back and watched it. But like the Porto game at Old Trafford and stuff like that.
Like, don't get me started on that. Though we were robbed.
Oh, we were
Paul
robbed.
Scholes has got 2 men playing him on side. And
that was a joke.
And the last minute,
it's the whole thing that I used to do.
I know. I can't let go of that. I'm sorry. I really can't. It was just one of the worst decisions I've ever seen.
That's another Champions League on that.
We would have definitely.
We did easy.
I would ask this: what would you take this season, a Champions League or a Premier League?
Easy.
League.
Not even a question of a doubt.
The Premier League.
Yes.
All right.
No, Champions League.
Mental. That's insane.
You know what?
I have seen. Insane, let me defend myself. No. Unlike you children.
Oh, have you?
I've not even answered yet.
I have seen all 13 Premier League titles. Like I've seen us win them. Like no, but I can remember
all 3 European Cups as well. Like Granddad.
I was there against Benfica in 1968. But I've only ever seen us lift the Champions League twice, and it's not like. Oh well, we'll do it again. We seldom ever do it.
You say
to win that.
Even our best teams haven't. They've come close on many occasions and then won it.
The irony is, I think the only time we've won the Champions League under Fergie was when we were the best team in Europe.
Yeah,
teams never do that.
No,
like the Scousers won it twice when they've not been the best team. Chelsea won it twice without being the best team. We've only ever done it when we have probably been player for player the best team on the planet.
What would you pick then? And I'll tell you why Premier League after.
I'll tell you for why. Let's both discuss it. I'll say why.
Go on then, young man.
I feel like the Premier League will feel better, like just being the top, because English football right now is the pinnacle of football, and it's the Premier League is where it's at. All the top players want to be here, but I just believe the hype around it will be fun. But the Champions League, we need to catch up.
Four is coming. Never mind all this 21 is coming.
Falling behind, man. We need to catch up, and just European glory just sets you the best team in Europe, innit?
With anything like this, though.
No, it's not, though.
It is the
but
context.
then what if Liverpool win
It's
the
the context, right? Because he's right. Because
so
you're,
weird,
you're giving me this option now, this binary option, right? And I understand where you're coming from, but...
I'm going to say, didn't you ask me? Who asked us?
You asked me, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
I asked us.
Oh, right, sorry. You're giving this option, but...
Thank you.
If we say it was us and Liverpool going for the title, and it goes that last game, and we win the title, or it's then the week later, the City win the Champions League... Do you know what I mean?
No, but here's the thing. We don't know who it's going to be up against. There is no context.
Right.
That's your question. And the reason why it has to be the Premier League is, look at Liverpool in 2005. They won the Champions League and finished 5th.
Yeah.
They were shit in the league.
Yeah.
They weren't a threat.
Yeah.
They were nothing.
Yeah.
They were crap.
Yeah.
Chelsea 2012 finished 6th, I think.
Yeah.
They were shit. Yeah. They were nothing.
Yeah.
No one in the world thought they were the best team in Europe. No one thought Liverpool were the best team in Europe.
Yeah.
No one. I don't even think most people thought Chelsea were the best team in Europe last season.
And even the best team in England.
But even then, under Tuchel, they had a sort of a really tight package going on where since he came in, they were one of the best teams in Europe. But even then, they weren't the best team in Europe.
Yeah.
Same with Real Madrid. They won 4 Champions Leagues and they won 2 leagues in like 7 years.
I'm not disputing the fact that you can win the title with Champions League without being best team in Europe.
No, I know. But for me, winning the league, like Abdul said, especially at the minute, this is the best league in the world, I think.
Right.
Top to bottom, it's the best league in the world. If you win that, you are the best team in Europe. If you win the European Cup, you might be, or you might just be the luckiest team in Europe.
Yeah.
I want to be the best team we can be, and I think winning the Premier League proves that more than winning the Champions League.
I think for me...
And also, by the way, you think it's bad that we're behind Liverpool in Champions Leagues? If they catch us up in Premier Leagues, then we've got a right fucking shit show on our hands.
I just feel for me, I mean, listen, I'd be happy with it either.
Oh, would you be happy with the Premier League?
Obviously, I would. But winning the Champions League would just be unreal.
You know what it is? I feel like with the Champions League as well, is just getting to actually go and watch the game. Like I've never gone to a European final for United. No. I missed the last 2. Last one was COVID. The one before, it was like either pick a season ticket or pick going to Stockholm, and I should have picked going to
Stockholm. To be fair,
was
one of the best nights of my life. So as a United fan, it really was. It was unreal. Peter Kelly in the super chat says, "Any advice for getting to the ground from the airport? Book flights for the Villa game to come in at 11:30. Now the game's been moved to 12:30.
I don't know. I've never done that.
No, I haven't, bro.
What is it?
I guess
Did
the
he say
tram.
Gets
Get the
there
tram in.
11:30? Yeah, there's a tram straight off.
Get the tram in. I think it goes to Cornbrook. If you get the tram into Cornbrook, you can then go from Cornbrook to Pomona and then walk from Pomona.
I've taken the tram from Trafford Bar to the airport before when I was going.
So yeah, either Cornbrook or Trafford Bar.
45 minutes or so.
I'm worried that Peter Kelly's relying on our advice and he's going to end up sort of stuck on a tram not moving anywhere.
What are people saying about League or Champions League? Got to be some comments.
Yeah, get involved in the comments. Let us know. What do you think? Tiny Torches says, if City wins Champions League and we win the league, I will still be pissed. Right, okay.
I wouldn't.
Oh no, sorry. I'm just having a look now. Paul Lucas says, I think we have a good chance of winning or getting to the final in the Champions League. Almost a better chance than the league. I agree
with that.
I think we have got a better chance. I know that's different than what you would like to see. Paul Lucas also says, what is your idea of a successful season? We keep getting asked this, don't we? Is it just challenging?
Yeah.
Is it going right to the wire?
Going into May, we can still win the league.
Yeah. Joy Chowdhury says Champions League. Get involved. Let us know. Champions League or Premier League. Let us know. We'll probably get clips up when we finish 5th and don't win anything. But
Champions League or Premier League, because we're definitely winning one.
Yeah, that's the choice you've got. Potentially both.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Hayden Lawless says Carabao for me. Good shout.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, please.
Let's end that run of Cities keep winning it. Do you know what I mean? Disciple of Ollie said Liga wasn't the best. They had 3 big teams. Premier League has 8. Yeah, I think the Premier League, usually in a sort of, if you look at the amount of good teams in the Premier League, there's more than in other leagues.
Yeah, but I think that
now it's different now. I get that.
Yeah, I think La Liga was the best league of the 2010s.
I like this. Ron Lado 1 2 3 4 5 says something, and I kind of agree here. Sort of. He says, right now, I'll take a flipping FA Cup.
I'll take it. I'm not saying I wouldn't take it, but
a trophy, yes.
That's so dry though with the team that we've got.
You won't be saying that over lift the FA Cup. If Ole stood there with the FA Cup, if Ronaldo stood next to him, you're not gonna be like, "This is dry, man."
Nah, but then like you'd win it and it's over in a day, and it's like, yeah, FA Cup.
Last time we won it, was it like we barely got the night, did we?
That was
before
shit.
Van Gaal.
Yeah.
I felt so sorry for
shit
Jesse as well because he scores the winner in the FA Cup final. Lee Martin's still, dining out on that one from 1990. Jesse had like 3 hours before people were talking about
Jose,
Van Gaal and Jose. I'm gonna wrap it up there. Yeah. Don't forget as well. Check out
the week.
Is that not the Paddock
it's
podcast?
the Brew, innit?
Yeah, this is the Brew. Yeah,
Sorry,
we don't do. Well, but do check out the merchandise. Got some merch there. You can see. Use the code Paddock20 for 20% off. We've got Bruno t-shirts.
Show them yours. Stand up.
Yeah, I've got.
All these tricky reds. Look,
tricky reds there.
We've got loads of new stuff in there as well.
Yeah, so make sure you have a look at
and
that.
a discount. You see it there, 20% off if you get 2 items or more.
We are going to be at the game tomorrow, as you'd expect. We'll also have the watch along. You'll be on the watch along, won't you? You're on it every week.
No, I'm not this week. I'm at the game.
Newcastle,
as they're calling them. I'm sat right near you as well, aren't I?
Mate, do you know what I'm going to do, right? I did this the last time I was at the game. Not seen my mates for ages, because I've got... Not seen my mates for ages, right?
Literally like 18 months.
18 months, because we all got to the game together. We've not seen each other since COVID, right? So we're in the ground together, having a laugh, chatting, half time, me and my mate Mark having a chat. I love it. I love Mark to bits. And I looked over and I see Patterson, who I work with and see every single day. And I literally went, back in a minute, mate, and ran over to Patterson for a catch-up. And then I was like, got there, and I was like, oh, yeah, I see you every day. Yeah. I'm well going to do that if I see you there. I'm going to run and climb over like the stand. Joe!
I reckon we'll be able to see each other from where we're sat. We're literally, we're like one entrance over from each other.
Oh, mate, that's going to be sick. Hey, both be able to reach out and hold hands as Cristiano Ronaldo scores his 4th goal of the day. Abdullah, tell everyone about what you've been doing and say it right. What's it called?
Just for you, PR Ball. Is that it? Is that PR Ball? Is that what he's doing?
It's
PR Ball.
Go on, you can say how you know.
It's PR Ball. It's just a YouTube channel that I've started with a couple of mates. Obviously, I've spoken about this before. We're trying to, get some extra content going. So check that out. I've just done a video of like top 5 players to watch this season, sort of in Europe. Mason Greenwood's in there. So you guys will enjoy obviously watching that.
Do you know what you did on the transfer deadline day that time when you got the Subbuteo set out and you're going through your tactics? Mate, I loved that, mate. Yeah. I thought it was really... Do you know what I liked about it? I don't mean to sound insulting. You went through the tactics with like a Subbuteo set, but it was like people like me who aren't like stats and interested in that. It was dead easy to understand. It was like, this is literally what's going to happen. And it was proper on the ball, you mate. It was good. That we
might need to bring it back.
Yeah, get it laid out. Get the players moving.
New segment of the show.
Is this what you want? Is this what you want your fan base to be?
Hey, we cater for all audiences.
Many remember the 1968 European Cup
football went downhill when they started televising it.
Yeah, pass back.
Subbuteo for the old nerds.
Off back to where you...
As soon as floodlights came in, the game's gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's been... Links in the description for Pure Ball, so make sure you're going to check it out. We'll be here tomorrow with the watch along and with the fan cams and the return of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, 5 goals.
Yes, you've heard it here first from him. 5 goals from Ronaldo.
5.
Make sure you're checking out Pure Ball. Joe Smith 93. You know where to find me, Jay Motti. This has been Stretford Paddock. This is what I'm up against. Seriously. Thanks for watching.